But we begin with former Vice President Mike Pence saying that he would consider testifying before the January 6th House Select Committee if faced with that unprecedented request. He made the remarks during a political event in New Hampshire Wednesday morning. Pence said that his first duty is upholding his oath and staying loyal to the Constitution.
Any invitation to be directed to me, I would have to reflect on the unique role that I was serving in as Vice President. It'd be unprecedented in history for a Vice President to be summoned to testify on Capitol Hill. But as I said, I don't want to prejudge. If there's ever any formal invitation rendered to us, we'd give it due consideration.
CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins me now with more. Hey there, Scott. So what information could the committee learn from Pence if he were, in fact, to testify?
It's actually a very uncertain question, Lana, because the committee has already talked to any number of members from the Pence inner circle. Mark Short, the top advisor, spoke at length with the committee. Any number of people who were part of January 6th inside the Capitol as the mob tried to approach Mike Pence and as people were on the other end of the phone trying to call Mike Pence. So the committee has this tonnage of information, the 1,000 plus interviews, the 140,000 plus records. It's not certain they need much from Mike Pence. And when we talked to some of the committee members earlier this summer, they indicated as much. But this is quite a political statement from Mike Pence. Opening the door to talking to the committee is a statement. A counter statement to former President Trump, who continues to call it the Unselect Committee and has used the names hacks and thugs in reference to the committee members. So he made more of a political statement, perhaps, than a practical statement today.
Well, speaking of political statements, Pence was also asked this morning about the recent search of Mar-a-Lago, and he said that the Department of Justice should explain why the search was necessary, but he also said that we need to let the facts play out and encourage support for FBI agents. Tell us why that's so significant.
There's a lot of Republicans trying to thread this needle of saying they need answers, the FBI owes America answers, but that the criticism of the FBI so far from some parts of the American constituency have gone too far, that it could give rise to potential violence or attacks against federal agencies and federal agents. So what Pence is saying here echoes what Republicans on the House Committee on Intelligence said last Friday, that they'd like an explanation as to why the FBI would do something so provocative as search a former president's residence with FBI agents, but also that Americans should be patient as they await the answers from the FBI about this.
Well, let's talk also about what's happening there in Washington on Friday. A grand jury is going to be meeting to hear testimony about electors and the 2020 election. What more can you tell us about this?
Now, speaking of former Vice President Pence, we know his top aide, I mentioned him earlier, Mark Short, appeared before this D.C. grand jury a few weeks ago. We know from our reporting and multiple sources, there's a grand jury meeting Fridays at the federal courthouse just down the road here from the U.S. Capitol, looking into this issue of fake elector schemes and efforts to overturn the 2020 elections. I underscore this because it's a significant thing, it's a significant moment, but it's kind of being overshadowed by the fact that Mar-a-Lago was just searched in an unrelated case, according to multiple sources. That was over the presidential papers, the papers that were supposed to be in the possession of the National Archives. There's this Georgia investigation, the grand jury in front of which Rudy Giuliani appeared today, and there are these New York investigations, which could come to a pinnacle tomorrow when the Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg is expected to appear and is expected to plead guilty. There are so many threads, Lana. It's easy to lose track of the one happening here in Washington. Grand jury meeting each Friday, including this Friday, looking into the fake electors scheme.
Certainly a lot to keep track of it all. Scott, we appreciate you doing so. Thanks.